Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
I'm Joel L. Conan. Welcome to Premarket Info.
Well, Joel, market rallying again. I guess that's all it does now. We just come in and we go up, and we're up another 7 points here this morning. You just cannot keep this market down.
Yeah, I was a little worried yesterday because we both had our bullish shoes on, and that could be a very dangerous thing for traders and markets as a whole. The only thing I want to point out to our traders and listeners this morning is that 1537, that was the close. We opened up near that area, couldn't get one tick below the close. We're rallying up to 1544.75 high. Seems like a nice round number, like 1450 might be on the radar today.
1550, Joel? 1550?
Oh my God,
I'll buy it from you at
1550.
14. You got to be careful. You better not throw out offers out there after hours or anything. I'll buy that 1450 from you. Yeah, this market just continues to march here. And even Apple, Joel, even Apple participated yesterday. Turned around, had a big day for once. It was up like 12 bucks. It's up another buck 37 this morning. So it is participating a little bit here. But wow, even Apple participating in the rally.
Yeah, some no-name firm downgraded them this morning. I
Yeah, I
didn't
seen
catch the
that too.
exact name of it. Looking at the daily chart, I'm just putting 2 stars on these resistance levels on the way up. 435.19 was yesterday's high. I will use that as a bogey on the upside as a target for a possible short if you want to be shorting it down here, or to exit along. Pre-market, someone seems to have an inkling here to get out at 433. So 433, 435, your numbers on the upside. I think if this dips under 430 today, might be worth, risk a low risk buy here, a couple points, maybe try and catch something.
And keep an eye on yesterday's high. If it starts to take that out, you know how I like my 2 day move. 40.35.19 was yesterday's high. So if we can take that out, I think it could. I think it could easily see 440. There could be 5 points in there. So keep an eye on Apple. There is some other stocks in the news here, though. I want to talk, and we'll start with Big Lots here. I always hate Big Lots. You know how I have a hate on for that stock. I actually took it short into the report, and I'm down a little bit of money here. I covered part of the position here pre-market.
I
Still
told you
hold.
not to. I told you not to.
Yeah. Well, there's $35 levels, absolutely enormous. I've always hated this stock, and I guess you just can't have opinions when you're trading stocks. I was like, this stock, I don't like the stores. I always say that the stores have reinvented themselves in a bad way, and I don't like the whole new stores and everything. It's had this nice run up over the course of the last 2 months from 27 bucks to 35, and I was like, you know what, I think they're going to disappoint. Well, they actually came out and beat the numbers. 209 versus a buck 99. Full year guidance not that great. 305 to 325 versus estimates of 317, but it is trading higher here and is putting me under some water here this morning, trading 35.10.
Well, you know what opinions are like.
What are opinions like, Joel?
They're like assholes. Everyone has one.
I guess I
So
had
you
one
gotta
too.
you gotta be careful when you're trading with opinions, Dennis. We've talked about this several times. But we did get a pop up to 35.31 in the pre-market, kind of vacillating between 34.90 and 35.21, 35.31. So those are the levels. For your longer term traders, let's just take a whole look at this $35 level. You had a top here at 34.93 on February 14th. So I'm looking at that as major resistance going out a little bit longer term. It could be a little bit scary here if you do get through that $35 level. This was probably the last time they announced it, or a couple earnings ago. But room to run up if you can really clear this $35 level with conviction.
So you're telling me I shouldn't let this thing get too much through 35 and let that short get away from me, huh? Well, I'll keep an eye on it here, and obviously I've already covered half the position, so I'll probably be looking to cover the other half fairly soon if it gets through that $35 level. Moving on to other earnings, we had PAY reported last night, which is Verifone. They obviously had the earnings warning just from a while back, and then obviously reported the earnings last night, 51 versus 48. They see the full year slightly down, but they had already warned on this too, $1.90 to 2.10 versus estimates of 2.11. I think a lot of this was already priced in. It had a really wild ride actually on the report. You can see it spikes up on the initial report and then spikes all the way down to 18.15, then runs all the way up to 20.80, and then starts digesting it, and now it's actually traded quite a bit of stock in this whole 1980, 1985 area. So news algo getting chopped up to hell on that one, and obviously stocks now just trading up 60 cents.
Yeah, after that wild action here, consolidating between 1985 and 2020, so I would use those as early parameters in the stock if you're trading, attempting to trade this beast here. Looking at the daily, boy, you just after the low, you had several days of consolidation, several tops, like very close to the 1915, 1917 level. But then yesterday you had a good day. You got to 1938. So if you want to be patient on this one and try and take a long position, you could float back down to that 19 quarter, which was the close 1938, as going to be supporting this thing longer term. You have to keep an eye on that 1793 low of the move.
AEO with a profit warning. American Eagle Outfitters trading down here, almost $2 now. They're going to see 16 to 19 cents. Estimates were up at 25. They tried to give you some good news too, though. They raised the dividend, if you can call this a dividend raise. They're raising it up to 12.5 cents, their quarterly dividend, from 11 cents. So a slight little 1.5 cent dividend raise. They're also 20 million share buyback, so they have some pretty good news here, despite the earnings warning. But I guess the investors don't care about the other stuff. They only care, it appears, about the earnings warning, and this stock is getting killed in the pre-market.
Seems like these retailers, they either go straight up or
They
straight
really do.
down.
They really do.
Yep,
They are volatile.
take a trend here. You did have a spike down in the pre-market to 2035, just getting a little bit of a recovery after off that level. So let's keep a close eye on the 2035 level. Looking at the dailies, I'm gonna have look at that. We had a nice run, then it gives it back in about 2 days. If it gets back to that 2035 level, you got to imagine some shorts are here over the last couple of weeks. We'll be looking at the $20 level. You had two lows. You had four lows right in the $20 area. So below 2035, get your bid at 20.01 or 001 or
I think there's some
whatever.
support there. You're
Subtract
telling me there's
penny.
some support in that $20 area.
I like 20.
You like the 20. ARO could have a little sympathy move here too. Aeropostale, obviously similar company there, is down just slightly in the pre-market with this. Obviously not going to see this thing get shaved down like the AEO did, but it could have a little bit of weakness off the hop. So just keep that in mind for you pair guys out there. ARO trading slightly down here pre-market.
My only opinion on both those stores is that every time I walk by them, I can't imagine besides 12 and 13-year-old girls who buy stuff in
Well,
there.
that's
So
their target market, isn't it? It's a whole teeny bopper. I mean, everything's supposed to be cool. They're not trying to market to you, Joel. I don't think you're going to go in there and buy your Burge Clo or your Burge shirt. What is that? Or the Aeropostale has this little eagle, or it's no, obviously American Eagle has the eagle on there, but it's kind of like I don't know, it's not very patriotic eagle. It's kind of like just a cool eagle type of deal. So I just can't see you wearing American Eagle stuff or Aeropostale there, Joel. So I don't think
okay.
they're marketing to you. So, but they do have those stores. There's people in them though. There is people in them. It's not like the J.C. Penney when I was in that thing. It was like a ghost town. There is people in these Aeropostale stores and this American Eagle stores. So I don't think they're going the way of J.C. Penney. And since we brought it up, we may as well talk about J.C. Penney too, because the stock just continues to trade down. It's got two more downgrades again today. Oppenheimer and Citigroup both downgrading. J.C. Penney, Oppenheimer citing in the comments section significant cash burn. That doesn't sound good. Citigroup citing misguided decisions. So some tough language there in those downgrades. And man, this is a stock that just cannot find a bottom.
Right. You tried to pick a bottom though in a
Yep.
couple times yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I traded it twice. I knew the 1575 area had bottomed in the pre-market, and like we had said on the show, 1569 was a low from November 16th. So I bought it once at 1576. I actually sold at 1593 for a quick scalp. Came down. These were day trades. Came down 1576. Bought it again. It cut through. I sold at 1568. As soon as it cut through, made a new low. I'm like, I'm getting the hell out of there. Can't play with that. So I had a nice little scalp for about 17 cents. Then I lost 7 cents. So overall, I made just slight little bit of money. I should have turned around and reversed it. That's what you were saying
Right.
too. When it cuts through that number, makes a new low, it would have been the play to turn around and reverse it. Look at yesterday's chart if you want. Bring up yesterday's chart, and you can see you probably wouldn't have taken that much heat if you would have reversed that trade. It kind of cut straight through it and just continued to move down and basically cut 40, 50 cents right there.
Right. Just to harken back to the levels that we put, these support levels, you can use them to cover shorts, try along, but also, try not to be opinionated with these things when they take out such a major support level like that. A lot of times if you would have been short, being patient, waiting to short on that level, really, after it took it out, the highest you got was back to like 1571. So use those levels both ways. Looking at the pre-market activity here, you did get a low recently at 1460 and 1458. We're not much above that. Stanley has asked about looking at this chart for a long-term buy.
Oof.
I have to harken back here to 2009. 1371 was the low in March of 2009. So be a little bit patient. At least wait for a double bottom or some kind of formation to develop, or so you have a reference point if you do take along where to exit the line.
1371, if you just go farther back on that chart, that's the low. My chart goes back to 2004. That was the lowest set in 2009, but that's the lowest price I've got since 2004. If you scroll, I don't know if you can scroll back farther to see if there's any lows even farther back than that, but let's just go check it out here. Yeah, okay, so if you get back into 2003, oh no, you don't. You got to go lower. You got to go like back to 2001, it looks like, because that low's not, that's 1496, it says on the chart. What do you got there? At that price there in July of 02.
1407 was the low in October of
2002.
2002.
Back
So
10 years to find something in the vicinity of 1371. That's your bogey there. 1371 on January 30 or on March 31st, 2009 during the financial crisis. We bottomed there at 1371. If it takes that level out, man, you just can't own the stock. So, but
who
it's
says
been
we're day traders? We're talking about levels from a decade
for
ago.
decades ago trying to find you tradable levels. Obviously, it is a tradable level. You have a reference point. Things starts trading 1350. I would not want to be long it. This starts taking out, making 10-year lows. You just can't be long it. So I think that's maybe what's the target, 1371. If you were short the thing, obviously, if it takes that level out, batten down the hatches and for J.C. Penney because she doesn't look good. Couple other, there's an upgrade to Best Buy here this morning. Jeffrey's upgrading, and it's funny. We were talking about this, and analysts get on the bandwagon here, and they all hop on or they all hop off. Best Buy obviously been strong here all year since starting the year down in the $11 area or $11.50 area. Now you got Jeffrey's upgrading the stock here as well, raising the price target up to $24 from $13. Thanks, Jeffrey's. You missed the last 5-6 points of this move. Now you raise the price target, but man, all the analysts here jumping on the Best Buy bandwagon. Is this thing going to $24?
I don't know. Maybe Schultz will want to buy it there. 1845 was yesterday's high. The close was right there, so maybe Jeffries had some MOC buy orders in there or whatever. That's going to be your support. Looking at the pre-market activity, we have spiked up to the $19 level, 19 even. I think you can use that as a resistance point, a nice round number like that, probably some paper kicking around. Also, to confirm that level, You did have a high back here. Oh boy, that's at 20.55. So not a whole heck of a lot of there at 20. I just don't like seeing a stock like this up 3% on little volume. It just, to me, it seems like an opportunity to lighten up on some longs. But we'll see how the market reacts to the Jeffries upgrade.
Qualcomm getting downgraded by Goldman Sachs. So here comes an analyst that's actually bucking the trend. This stock broke out yesterday, making a new high, and Goldman coming out downgrading it today. So they're saying it's not going to continue to have follow through here. It is trading down 60 cents here in the pre-market or 67.32. Actually trading down 40 cents in the pre-market. 67.32. Filling that gap from yesterday too. Is that the potential? We got a gap obviously in the chart there too. I'll let you highlight that.
Yeah, there's a lot in there, and I think this thing got up to that 68.30, 68.50 level in the pre-market as well. So let's just look at what's going on here. Since the Goldman downgrade, that axe they're wielding is definitely having some effect here. Just slumping on the low. No one wants to battle Goldman here on this downgrade, especially after this major run. Just sitting here, not moving off 67.32. Is it offered there, Dennis, or is it?
It's
Is it bid?
67.31 to 67.45 right now. That's the spread on the
Okay.
thing. So
So they're looking. So let's use yesterday's range and the potential gap to fill. I don't see any support coming into this to 66.65. That would fulfill the gap from Monday. And Friday's high was also at 66.65. So if you got a short on this thing, maybe get your bids out a little bit ahead of that, 66.75, 67.80 on a quick down move. Below that opens up to the $66 level.
speaking of stocks that are having influence, or a person who's having influence, Goldman has influence, but Cramer still has his influence too there, Joel. He's highlighted two stocks last night on Mad Money. LCC, bring it up because, wow, look at this move. Cramer comes out, mentions that he likes U.S. Airways and he wants you to buy it at 14.05. Everybody was listening after hours because they basically bought it up the seconds that he said that, and it traded up all the way up to 14.62 about 5-10 minutes after he gave his recommendation. It's pulling back here a bit this morning, but man, Cramer, he's starting to have an effect on stocks here again. He always seems to move stocks. I've been watching that Mad Money show. Obviously, we all watch it, and you've got to kind of watch it if you're a trader because when he mentions a stock, he still has influence, and it's crazy. After all these years, he still moves stocks.
Yeah, there's interest in the market here. We're making all times highs.
Yeah.
People that have been in for a long time are trying to decide whether they're getting out, and people that have missed the boat are trying to decide whether to get in. His effect. I mean, the guy knows his stocks. He knows his technicals and his fundamentals. So obviously, this pump up to 1463 here has met a little bit resistance. We are looking at the pre-market chart here. You've had a sell-off from that level, but nothing really to get too excited about if you're short. 1440, we're kind of just sitting here. I keep an eye on that level. Underneath 1440, things are really going to get dicey down to the $14 level. This thing has had a nice run. Really, if you look at the chart, we haven't traded up to 1460 since February 19th. We got to 1456. If we do get through that level, you could end up to the nice round number of 15. But already a big move priced in here on the Cramer recommendation.
So this was the one that he was focused on, but he did mention Delta, he did mention Southwest, he did mention Alaska Air. But check out this Delta chart, 16 bucks, absolutely enormous. There's an institution kicking around there selling 158,000 shares in New York. If that guy gets taken out, Delta could open up here again.
Wow, and there's probably also some other scattered sellers in the book as well. But yeah, it's smacking up 16. The high freaks are leaning on that big offer there. Looking at the chart, nice run in this stock. Nice 3-day run. We'll see if it can slow down here at 16. Looking at the weekly, well, we got to look at the monthly.
Just been flying.
Yeah, we'll have to go back. Whatever, 16. If it gets above 16, you're short. Get the hell out.
Yeah, for sure. Another one I just wanted to mention here was Facebook. Cramer was pumping that last night too, saying that he likes it no matter what. He thinks it's a buy here. He thinks it's a buy lower. He thinks it's a buy here. It's getting a 45-cent lift on those Cramer comments again. Obviously, overall market lifting it too, but it lifted last night after Cramer. You can see the Cramer spike there around 640 when he started talking about it, and obviously it's just continued here with the strong market today.
Looking at the pre-market high, it's been only 27.99, so that 28 level is huge. That is confirmed by the daily charts. Three consecutive highs between 28.06 and 28.18. So hey, you get through there, I think things open up. Little resistance at 28.50, but you could be right back at 29. Coming back on the downside, you're up 45 cents. You have to use the close of 27.52 as support if you're trying to short this thing off the open or looking to get in on the long side.
One other stock I want to highlight before we end the show is Microsoft. It had a breakout day there yesterday. We had talked on the show that it looked like it was setting up to break out. It did. It's pulling back here today. The EU finding Microsoft 731 million. They find them in euros, but it's equivalent to 731 million US dollars for violating their settlement terms. They were supposed to offer their users a browser choice. They didn't apparently in the EU, and they're getting fined for it. Stock is pulling back on that news to 28.20. Here's a stock though, and you were liking this. So you said if this stock got back down to 28 bucks, you would like it as a potential buy, and hopefully, obviously, continuing that run.
Yeah, it did open up higher, and I was hoping it would sneak down to the $28 level before it spiked up to made that high at 28.54. I mean, yeah, they're fine. Yeah, it's money out of their pocket. I mean, I believe they got, I don't know how many billions
Oh yeah,
in
they got
cash. So,
lots of cash.
it has an effect. It's trading down in the pre-market. Let's take a look at the pre-market low. What did it get to? 28.08
It
is the
didn't get
low
to
in the pre.
28.00 because I was trying to buy it at 28.01, 28.02, so it hasn't got quite to where I'd like to pick it up. But I think I agree with you. I think it just go back down to 28. Obviously, you're going to have a reference point, but I do like the chart. I still think it's, been drifting higher here. I'm a buyer of this on a pullback, just for my own account. Obviously, my bogey, and we were talking about this last night, it made a low at 27.70 on March the 4th. If it started to take that low out, I'd probably cut out of my long. But what I'm looking is, for this risk return setup, and me and you were talking about this last night, if I can pick this thing up in the low 28s, 28.02, 28.03, sell it out at 27.65, I'm still looking, for a move maybe to take out yesterday's high. Not today, but over the course of this is going to be a grinder. But over the course of the next few days for a swing trade long, I'd love to see it continue to drift higher. So looking to pick it up in the low 28s, looking to sell it in the high 28s. My out would be probably below 27.65.
Yeah, longer term, and we talk a lot of the stocks in the Big Ten as they make up 20% of the entire index. I mean, this is just one stock in the Big Ten that continues to stay there because of its market cap, but just has not recovered like many of the other
Oh, not at all.
stocks since the 2007, 2008 low. I mean, you've had trendline thing. Got to get rid of that. You've had a stock like T come back quite a bit.
But not all the way for
Uh,
T either, because T used to be up at 60 bucks too. So
Right. Well, I'm not saying I'm just saying relative to coming off the bottom.
yeah, from the
GE
2009, they've come
finally
back a
got
long ways.
pop,
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think you have limited downside in this stock. Also with the dividend, I'm talking longer term play, but also you have limited upside because this thing is just such a thick stock that high frequency traders feast on any large order in it. But short term, we like the $28 level.
Well, that's our show for today, folks. Have a great trading day, and we will be back with you guys tomorrow.